All right. So this is going to be the recording for Mythic Soul Hunters. Um, this boss is basically a damage and healing check because there's a lot of damage that has to be done and a lot of damage that goes out. But from a macro standpoint, it is overall quite simple. So the important things that are different from normal and heroic to mythic is that one, in the intermission, you will be tethered to two other players that if you get too far away, it will kind of yoink you together. And this kind of does damage and interrupts movement. And depending on which intermission you are in, can get someone killed. The second thing is that the way we're going to be handling the Devourer's Ire is going to be different. It's not going to be exclusively a healer mechanic like we were doing in normal and heroic. We're going to have groups. We're going to have I'm going to be referring to them as ping groups. So attack ping, assist ping, and warning ping. The reason for that will become evident shortly. And yeah, those are probably the biggest differences between normal and heroic. There's obviously some more mechanics that are going out throughout the fight, and shit does more damage, but those are probably the biggest, more important aspects of it. So let's just get into the video.
Five, four, three.
So there's no comms, but it'll still make sense. So again, just like a normal heroic, when the bosses are pulled, it's going to kind of surround the arena in this green fell energy, and the boss is going to put 3 circles from 1, 2, and 3, kind of like closest to them to furthest from them, and these are going to be the first set of Devourers Ires that go out. And these will basically be, from here on out, I'll refer to this as group 1, and then there's going to be a group 2 and group 3. And each one of you gonna want to watch this in relation with what I have written in the channel, and it'll make the most sense at that point. But so this will be Anna right here, closest to the boss. In the middle will be Balls, and then furthest will be Minus. So it'll be Anna, Balls, Minus, getting the first Devourer's Ire. And you guys will be holding this debuff essentially until a minute into the fight. For the Devourer's Ire debuff transfers, we have very specific times that will be in the note and should be broadcast to everyone, but they are also written down in the channel, in the Soul Hunters channel, so you will be able to go in there and make liquid reminders for yourselves as well. So again, Anna, Balls, Minus, in that order from closest to the boss to furthest from the boss. And you guys soak it, and then this is all during Lust, obviously. We Lust on Pool. And you guys kind of just hold it, and when the purple circles spawn, you go through and soak these. These are the fractured souls that go out, same as in heroic at least. Where the tank that had the souls fractured is healing immune until all 3 of these are soaked. These have to be soaked fairly quickly, because if they are not soaked fairly quickly, they just explode and do big raid-wide damage, which is almost certainly a wipe, so you don't really want that to happen. These fractured souls have to be soaked by the 9 people who are not assigned to be dealing with Devourer's Ire or the 2 tanks. So there's 11 people between the 9 people assigned to Devourer's Ire and the 2 tanks. So the remaining 9 people have to be proactive with getting these fractured souls. So that would be people like Bite, Claire, Bellinger, Chad, Too Tall, etc. And I think there's a few other people. Obviously, there's a few other people that I didn't mention. But yeah, so make sure those are going out. The first set of circles are going to be coming here soon. The void step circles, which are these, you want to be dodging. And then the people, so Anna, Balls, and Minus, you guys want to be soaking these and dodging these Fell Rush lines. Everyone obviously wants to be doing that. because it's just needless damage to be taken. The goal is to have, we want, basically by the time we go into intermission, we want all these purple circles to be gone. And the general rule is that if you had Devourer's Ire, you want to be clearing at least 2 full circles. No less. You can get more. But yeah. So the sequence is essentially always Sigilled Chains into the Hunt. And the Hunt, which is the last mythic difference that I did not cover at the very beginning, because we're going to cover it here, which is that when the Hunt goes out, each boss, so all 3 of them, cast a Hunt line. These Hunt lines will be referred to as the melee, ranged 1, or ranged 2. So this is melee. This is ranged 1. And this is ranged 2 right here. So as you can see, you have a good bit of time from the Hunt line spawning to when the Hunt line damage actually goes out. So it is very important that you position correctly. And there are a few things that are going on with the Hunt line. So 1, you are assigned a group soak, and those group soaks are in the Discord channel, but with a screenshot, but I will also read them off here. The melee Hunt line, which is the first line that appears, is Al, myself, Iro, Bite, Claire, and Nebu. The second Hunt soak, which is the second one that appears, which is ranged 1, is Chad, Too Tall, Dippin, Quoo, Demon, Clip, and Vex. And the third Hunt soak is Anna, Bellinger, Hallway, Jay, Balls, Minus, and Shaka. Now, if you have a high amount of stacks and you're taking a lot of damage from Devourer's Ire while this goes off, it might be wise to consider not soaking your line. But if you can live it, you should try to live it. Whether that be calling with an external or pressing a defensive. These Hunt lines will be doing a lot of damage, especially if you are in the melee line. We only have 6 people in it, which means that the Hunt line should be doing around 9 to 10 million damage to each of us, assuming we're not overlapped. Which brings me to the next point, which is if you are able to immune it, you should be doing so. So that's people like Iro, Claire, Bite, Bellinger, Hallway, all 5 of you can, Anna as well, all 6 of you can immune it with one thing or another, whether that be Bubble or Netherwalk or Block or Turtle or Cloak. So if you are immuning it, which as long as you have those abilities off cooldown, you should always be immuning it. You will be calling that you are immuning it, and then you will be calling which one you are. So if you are, if you are Bellinger and you are assigned and, you were targeted with ranged 1 Hunt line, you should say, I'm immuning ranged 1. And then you basically make the Hunt line as short as you physically can make it, so that way no one can be in it. You want to kind of take it off to the side, and you will see this person in the video do that at a later point in time in this VOD. But you basically just want to call your immuning it, call which line you're targeted with, whether that be melee, range 1, or range 2, and then you get off to the side, make it as short as possible, and you immune it. The other thing that I have to note with this is that Clip, you as a Shadow Priest, you can immune it with Dispersion plus an external. So basically, if you're targeted and you have Dispersion up, you will essentially say you're immuning it, go press Dispersion, and then call for an external, and you will get either Sack, Time Dial, or Bark Skin, and that should allow you to live it just fine. So yeah, there's that. Okay, moving on. And then the first set of Devourer's Ire transfers is going to be happening at 1 minute into the fight. So right now it is going to be happening. So this is going to be Anna, you pass to Dippin, Balls, you pass to J, and Minus, you pass to Demon. Now, like I said at the beginning, these groups will be attack ping, assist ping, and warning ping. And again, this is all in the channel, the Soul Hunters channel in Discord. And listed below, all the way at the bottom of that same message, are macros that will ping at you, you just press the macro and it will ping your player with assist, attack, or warning ping, depending on which group you are. So if you are Anna, Dippin, or Iroh, you want the attack ping macro. If you are Balls, Jay, or Quoo, you want the assist ping macro. And if you are Minus, Demon, or Shaka, you want the warning ping macro. And when it is your turn, and then further, these groups are broken down into group 1, group 2, and group 3. So group 1 is Anna, Balls, and Minus, which is the first set of people in each of the attack, assist, or warning ping. Dippin, Jay, Demon, you're the second group. So that translates into you are the second people in the attack, assist, or warning ping. And Iroh, Wu, and Shaka, you are group 3, or the third person in the attack, assist, or warning ping. Again, this makes the most sense if you are looking at it in Discord while watching this. So at 1 minute, group 1 will pass to group 2. So that's Anna to Dippin, Balls to Jay, Minus to Demon. When you are ready to get dispelled, you will first press the macro for the ping. The person that you are passing it to will get close to you, and then you will get call for the dispel. You can press the private aura macro that you set in the Northern Sky raid tools, and that will notify a healer that you and your partner are close to each other, and you will get dispelled. I highly recommend that the two people that are supposed to have it get passed to you both press it, and you both move towards one another. So Anna and Dippin will both press the attack ping macro. Balls and Jay, you will both press the assist ping macro. And Minus and Demon, you will both press the warning ping macro. And I'm not going to go through all this every single time. I'm just going to list the names, but that's the whole idea. And then once you two are right on top of each other, the person with the debuff will either verbally call for a dispel or press the macro that they keybound within the Northern Sky raid tools add-on, and they get dispelled that way. So it gets passed at 1 minute. So now group 2 has it. Same as before. You're soaking as many of these purple puddles as you can. And then Sigil Chains is happening right about now, and then you're getting another hunt cast. Same as before. You know, you see this person, he's immuning it, so he called that he's immuning melee, and he is walking it to make it as short as possible, and he's pressing his immunity. If you are not immuning it, you want to make it as long as you can, while ideally maintaining uptime, so that way all the people who are in your soak can get in it without overlapping their green circles. Because if you overlap, you will die. Essentially, is the TLDR. Obviously, you don't want to get hit by the frontals. And then the next set of dispels is happening right now at 1 minute and 35 seconds. Again, these are going to should be populated in they're in the MRT node for sure, and they should appear for everyone. So you should get a text MRT reminder. But again, the timers are in the Discord channel for Soul Hunters. So I highly recommend, just in case MRT doesn't properly give you the notification in text, you at least have it in your liquid reminders. I do not want to wipe because you were lazy and didn't want to do that. So please just set it up. So this at 1:35 is group 2 passing to group 3. So that is Dippin, you are passing to Iroh, Jay, you are passing to Quoo, and Demon, you are passing to Shaka. And then when those dispels happen, the people with it now, so that would be Iroh, Quoo, and Shaka, you guys are essentially clearing up the remaining puddles to the best of your ability. You obviously want it to be, as little as possible. Basically, you want no circles ever out in intermission, because it just takes up space that you otherwise would. Now, in intermission, the next mythic change is like I said before, you are tethered to 2 other people. You will see who you're tethered to because of this like red chain line in between the 3 of you. You will also, on intermissions 1, 2, and 4, get assigned a marker to play around. This is on intermission 1 to kind of have as many people kind of spread around the room as possible to make soaking the orbs as much as possible. On intermission 2, it serves the purpose of ensuring that we're not clogging up any given area of the room with for the fell rushes that are going to be going out. And then intermission 4 obviously is the enrage, which has the potential to have all of the bosses, all three of them, casting their appropriate intermission ability all at once. So the orbs, the fell rush, and the fell div. See, you'll play around the marker and you'll kind of just excuse me, soak the orbs that are coming in. Now don't go fucking buck wild on these because it does apply a debuff, and it's not a super long lasting debuff. It's just if you soak more than one, it does the damage of the dot that the debuff puts on you does start to ramp fairly quickly. So try to only do one and then wait for it to go away and then soak another and then wait for it to go away. It should be perfectly fine for you to do that. You also don't want to be wasting your immunities for during this phase because again, you want to be immuning the hunts, not these. So that's also incredibly important to note. And now after that intermission is over, the next set, you basically do the first phase all over again. It's the same thing before the intermission, between the intermissions. The next set of dispel transfers is happening right now at 2 minutes and 30 seconds. So this will be group 3 passing it to group 1. So that will be Iroh passing to Ana, Ku to Balls, and then Shaka to Minus. So again, you are pressing the macro that's appropriate for your group, whether that be attack, assist, or warning. And then yeah, as long as this is managed properly, this boss should die, this has the potential to be like a sub 20 pool boss if everyone does their prep, comes prepared with their macros and everything, and doesn't die to avoidable damage and everything. So yep, all the transfers happen. These puddles are coming out same as before. You want to be soaking them as much as possible. So right now it should be Ana, Balls, and Minus. You guys are soaking. Remember, the goal is to be soaking at least 2 full circles with your debuff before you get it dispelled again. Then sigil chains happen again. You're going to get the hunt. You deal with the hunt the exact same way. So you see he gets targeted. He calls that he's immuning ranged 1, and he makes it super short and presses turtle. He honestly could have made it a little bit shorter, but he needed to maintain uptime on the boss because again, this is a tight damage check. So you don't want to just be gimping your damage just for fun, essentially. So yeah, okay. You saw they made the hunt line extremely large. I guess it's worth noting that if like your line is soaked or is immune and you don't have the debuff, because if you soak a hunt line, it gives you a debuff that lasts like 10 seconds and it makes you take an insane like 500% more damage. It basically kills you if you soak 2 hunt lines. So if your line is immuned by whoever it's targeted by, you can feel free to get into one of the other 2 lines to help reduce the amount of damage taken. But just make sure you're not overcrowding it because, again, you don't want the circles to be overlapping ever, period, end of story, because it will kill people. And we do not want that to happen. So the next set of dispels happens at 3 minutes and 10 seconds, right here. Right, so it's right after the hunt finishes. And this will be group 1 passing to group 2. So this will be Ana to Dippin, Balls to J, and Minus to Demon. Again, press the macros as appropriate to your group, and then and then Dippin, J, and Demon, you guys will be going around the room doing your best to soak as many of these puddles as you can while maintaining a decent amount of uptime on the boss. Again, the goal is 2 or more per person. And then you're going to get another sigil chains into another hunt. This guy is immuning, so which is why he makes the line super short. This person's not, so he's making it long, and then people should be getting in it. But yeah, you make it long if you're not immuning it. And then the next set of Dispels happens at 3 minutes 40 seconds, right after the hunt finishes. So that's with group 2 passing to group 3. So that's Dippin to Iroh, Jay to Quoo, Demon to Shaka. And you guys, again, just press the macro that's appropriate to your group. And the 3 of you who have it clear up the rest of the area. And then you're going to be going into intermission 2. And intermission 2 is the Fell Rush intermission. Again, you're going to be tethered to 2 other people, and you're going to be given a marker to play around. Now, you see, that's right there. That's what happens when someone moves too far away. It pulls them to you, and it does damage, and you want to avoid that. Now, in this intermission, you're going to be, it's basically Kaiveza lines or Farrak lines, however you want to think about it. The person who is targeted, you want to be standing still. Period. You don't want to move. And if you have to move, you want to move instantly, and you want to move along the line. So if this person was standing right here, he could just eat that, right? Because his line is going to go off first, and then he has time to move. But if he insisted on moving, he would want to walk along his line this way. If it was this guy, he would want to walk along his line this way. This guy, his line is this way. This guy, his line is that way, and so on and so forth. But again, the people who are targeted should not be the ones moving. It should be the people who are around that person. And again, you want to move around as little as possible because you don't want to yoink your teammates, like what just happened there, into a shitty position and get them killed. So you do the full intermission. And then the next set of dispels happens at 4 minutes and 40 seconds into the fight. So right here. This is group 3 passing to group 1. So this is Iroh passing to Anna, Quoo passing to Balls, and Shaka passing to Minus. Again, same as always, you press the macro that's appropriate for your group. And you're doing damage, and then once you spawn, again, each person, the goal is to soak 2 full circles or more before this sigil of chains happens right here. You're going to get pulled in, and then the hunt is going to come. This guy is pressing nether, so he made it as short as possible, calmed it, and then presses nether and eats it, and then gets right back to doing damage. And then that's true for everyone else. Again, if you aren't able to immune it, you want to make your line as long as possible. So that way, as many people can be in it as possible without overlapping. And then the next set of dispels is happening at 5 minutes and 20 seconds into the fight. So right here. So this is group 1 passing to group 2. And so that is Anna passing to Dippin, Balls passing to Jay, and Minus passing to Demon, pressing the macro that's appropriate for your group. Again, 2 or more of these full circles is ideal before this sigil change that is happening right now. Same as always, if you are immuning, calm it and make sure you make it as short as possible and immune it. He does immune this. He calms it so people don't get in it. He should make it shorter than he does, but it's fine. People weren't in it, but just make sure you're calming it and making it short as possible, as quickly as possible. And yeah, and then the next set of dispels is happening at 5 minutes and 50 seconds right here. So this is group 2 passing to group 3. So this is Dippin passing to Iroh, Jay passing to Quoo, and Demon passing to Shaka. And the 3 of you are clearing up the remaining circles before the 3rd intermission. And the 3rd intermission is the Feldev one. Now this is probably the easiest one of the 3 So again, you're still tethered to your friends, so you don't want to run too far away. But in here, everyone will stack, watch where he jumps, and then run to the left of where he jumps. And you want to remain stacked. Now, from this fell dev, he's either going to go short left, short right, or far left or far right. If he goes far left or far right, myself or Lithy will be calling if we stay, because this fell dev damage is not infinite ranged. You can range it, and that's what happens when this guy jumps. Now because we will be planting, it is important to remember that you can also hit these ones that are up in the air if they are in your range. So make sure to be maintaining as high of an uptime as possible. Even if this guy is not in your range, it's possible that one or both of the other bosses that are alive will be in your range. So make sure you are still doing damage even if we stay. So he's going to jump here in a second. He jumps far left. They make a call to kind of back up a little bit to make sure that they aren't in the range, and you will see that he casts Fell Dev and no one's taking damage. So you just don't move in this situation. You just hit the one that's in the air that you can hit, and then he's going to finish Fell Dev and he's going to jump again. So he jumps close left. So you want to basically dodge the circle, obviously, and then you're going to be running along the wall to the left to dodge the frontal. And then he's going to jump again, and if he jumps close right, you would just walk along the wall to the right. That doesn't happen though, but yes, that's how you handle if he goes close right. You just walk along the wall and it's fine. Now, this is the last real phase, but it's not a full phase. You basically get the hunts that go off, and that's it. And then it just goes right into the fourth intermission, which is the enrage. But at 6 minutes and 45 seconds into the fight is the last set of dispels. So it will be group 3 passing to group 1. So that will be Iroh passing to Ana, Ku passing to Balls, Shaka passing to Minus. Again, just press the macro that's appropriate for your group and make sure you're getting dispelled correctly. Same, you deal with the hunt the exact same way. If you're immuning it, you call them that you're immuning it and you make it as short as possible. And if you aren't immuning it, you make it as long as possible so people can get in it. It is possible to just sack the people who can't immune these hunt lines and just not take any damage and just have people hit the bosses. But that'll be kind of an on-the-fly kind of call made by Lithy. And the way that this boss works is that if one of the 3 bosses dies before the other 2 die, it basically starts pulsing raid-wide damage. However, you have a good bit of time before that raid-wide damage becomes an issue, especially given that we're running 2 Resto Druids. Running 2 Resto Druids should kind of deal with that ramping raid-wide damage fairly well. Just kind of blanketing the raid in HOTS, essentially. Obviously, we don't want to kill one boss, like 45 seconds, 60 seconds before the others. But if one dies, 10, 20 seconds before the others, it's completely doable. So yeah, you deal with the hunts and then you go right into the 4th intermission. And like I said before, any bosses that are still alive at this point cast their appropriate intermission. So if all 3 are alive, you will have the balls, the Fell Rush lines, as well as the Fell Dev, and so on and so. Like if the ball guy is dead, you just get the Fell Rush and the Fell Dev, and so on and so forth. And the rule for Fell Dev still applies, and then you kind of just kill the boss in this intermission before it kills you, if you get it at all. Yeah, that's the fight. All right. Make sure that you go ahead and you ask any questions, any clarifying questions you have about the fight in the channel, ideally before we get to the boss, because like I said before, this boss has the potential to be like a sub 20 pull boss if everyone does their prep, everyone comes to raid knowing their jobs, everyone sets up their liquid reminders appropriately, everyone does everything that we've been telling and asking you guys to do before we even set foot into the raid. If everyone does that, this boss can die within, a few pulls. Like, 15 to 20 pulls fairly easily. But if people don't do the prep, if people don't pay attention, if people don't set up their liquid reminders, if we just kind of waste wipes to, not getting the dispels off at the correct time, even though I've made it abundantly clear, both here and in the channel when we are doing it, as well as putting it in the MRT note, then, we're going to sit here and struggle on this boss. And I don't want to do that. So make sure you ask all the questions you have, ideally before we set foot into raid on this boss. Yeah, I'll see you all in raid. GG's.